Hey YouTube, Chris Crone here, welcome back. Today I've got Alex Wallace who submitted a video, and ultimately he's got two options placed in front of him. Does he buy the single family home or does he go all out and actually start with the fourplex? And I'm gonna share my response on it.
Hey, I was just wondering what property would be the best decision for a first-time buy. One of them is $25,000 house to fix up for 10 grand and rent out, or 4 apartments owner finance for 190 grand. Already has 4 tenants in it paying rent right now. I live in West Texas, where the oil field is booming like crazy, or not even as much as it's going to in the next year or two. And rent houses are very hard to come by, so by owning one, it almost guarantees that somebody's going to be in it no matter what it looks like. My wife thinks $190,000 is too risky for a first time buy, but so we should go with just buy a $25,000 house and fix it up. So, and my heart says get this dang 4 apartments, but I need some professional opinions, and it would be great to find out what the best of the best.
Okay, Alex, if I understand this correctly, first of all, I get it, right? You're married, you got a wife, and one option looks more conservative, one option looks more aggressive. Count yourself lucky that you can even entertain one of the two of these, if not both of them. But let's actually talk about this. From what I understand, what you're sharing here, and I'm gonna have to imply some things, but it looks like option A is there's a single family home. It costs $25,000 and it needs $10,000 of repairs. And one of your options is to do this and just get this guy rented out, okay? Option B, you could actually do a fourplex. And if you do the fourplex, you can rent them out each for $1,000 a month. There's gonna be more cash flow, but it's also going to be a $190,000 purchase, and it doesn't look like you have repairs on it. So the question is, which do you wanna do? Right now, your wife is certainly leaning towards the more conservative of the two. And I just want to start with a little bit of marriage advice if I can. When you're in a committed relationship and you get into the game of finance, almost always there's going to be the more aggressive risk taker and the more conservative person. If you don't have both of those in your relationship, if you're both conservative, you're screwed. If you're both aggressive, you're really screwed. It's good to be in a relationship with someone who's conservative, holds the kite string, and can keep you grounded, because she's gonna cause you to ask really valuable questions. Makes sense? So when you're looking at these two, let me give you my personal perspective on this, and I hope this ends up being super helpful for you. First of all, let's just look at what total out of pocket might be. And again, I'm gonna make some assumptions here, but often you can't get a mortgage for under $50,000. No bank wants to write that. So here you might have to buy the house $25,000 cash, and you have to come up with the repairs. So here you might be $35,000 out of pocket. On the fourplex, let's just assume that the bank's gonna make you put 20% down. That's roughly $35,000, $40,000. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to make them more or less equal to start by making a point, which is between the two of these, you're the same money out of pocket. Here you're getting 4 doors, here you're getting 1 door. Is one of those better than the other? Well, when you have experience under your belt and you really become a master of a certain niche, you'll know the answer between the two of these, what's gonna take care of you better. This might have way more potential, but it could also have 4 times the risk. When one thing breaks, sometimes 4 things break, right? And so I think it would be really important to find someone in your area that could be a mentor to you that owns several fourplexes. And then I would also find someone that has bought several single family homes and have conversations with the two of them. That has nothing to do with the house, but I promise you, it'll actually help you understand your area a little bit better so you can make a better decision. One other thing that I want to share with you is money is roughly the same on both of these. As far as debt, here you're going to be debt free. Here you're going to have maybe $140,000 of debt. And I just want to say this for your benefit. The debt never bothers me because this is what is called a good debt. The debt-free option is not a better option. Anytime I can use leverage, I will use leverage because I'm leveraging more of somebody else's money, and that leverage allows me to have a greater arm of getting ahead significantly faster. And so when I look at these two options, I definitely have a draw more to that. But if you want to know what really is going to make the decision for me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at what my real ROI looks like. Now that hasn't been supplied yet, so I'm gonna make something up, okay? Let's just say on this single family home that it's all paid off and you can rent it out for $500 a month. It's a made up figure, sorry friend. So I'm putting 35 grand in, and if I'm getting 500 net back every month, over the course of a year, I'm getting 6,000 back. 35 grand in, 6 grand back. We can actually do that math. I'm gonna pull up my calculator here. Based on that scenario, if I put in $35,000, so if I take the $6,000 of possible gains, I'm assuming I'm gonna net and keep 500 a month. There's 12 months in a year. After it's rented out, maybe there's a vacancy in there, but let's just say I'm making $6,000 a month. If I divide that by my total all in, which is $35,000, that's gonna show that I'm making 17% on my money, okay? Now I'm also gonna be making the numbers up here. You're getting $1,000 on each door. That's a total of $4,000 if it's all rented out. But let's just say with real occupancies and everything down there, let's say that you're actually collecting $3,500 a month. Now your mortgage, let's say, is going to cost you $1,200 a month. So the difference between $3,500 and $1,200 is roughly $2,300. Now if I take $2,300 a month and I multiply that by my 12 months, that's $27,000. So if I put 35 in and I get 27 back, if I take that number and I divide it by 35,000, I'm making 78.8, so 79% on my money. Now your numbers in real life are gonna look a little different than this because I'm assuming some things, but I'm showing you the math that I'm doing so you can understand. I can make one investment of 35 grand and make 17% on my money. I can make another investment of 35 grand and I can make 79% on my money. The math, you still need to take out actually all expenses, which I did not do, vacancies, which I didn't do. You gotta be realistic. You gotta look at what your expenses are. But when you factor all of that in on both sides and you compare these two numbers, do you know what I'm gonna make my decision by? I'm gonna be making my decision back based on what am I getting on my money that I'm putting out. I'm not looking at the debt and I'm not looking at the size. I'm looking at which one of these is going to have my money make more. Once you know which one your money's gonna make more on, the last thing you need to do is you need to evaluate the risk, which is what is the risk in this scenario? What is the risk in that scenario? I'm gonna tell you right now, your single family is gonna have less risk, but it might not be worth getting a much lower ROI. At some point, you're gonna say the risk is worth that much more of a return on my money. In this fictitious example with half truths and half information, if I'm making 80% a year, if I'm making 50%, friends, anytime you're making over 20%, you're crushing it in the game of real estate. But because you're brand new, you got to get realistic. You got to talk to those mentors. You got to say, what are the expenses? What are the things that are going to come? What happens when the coolers break down? What happens when I need to replace the carpet? What kind of people are going to live in this house? And if you can say what you conservatively or aggressively think all that might cost you, factor in those expenses, run these numbers, get them side by side, and that should help you make a really good informed decision. Best wishes, Alex. I hope you and your wife crush it. Alex and wife, keep us posted. We definitely want to know what you ended up doing and honestly, how it turned out. It's all going to be learning or making money or some of both, okay? Listen, appreciate you guys watching today. If you've got a question, then you can go ahead and submit it down below, drop it into the comment box, and we might end up making a video for you. For the rest of you that are watching this saying, Chris, that was really awesome. Can I mentor with you? Can I join your team? Can you actually take me to the very best deals around the country? The answer is yes. Go ahead and click the link in the description below, request to speak with a member of my team, and we'll all break it down for you. Best wishes, happy hunting, and crush it.